Hey everyone, my name is Robin Solonenko and I'm a SharePoint Online instructor. And this is a video from my SharePoint Online Site Owner course. In this short video, you will learn how to create your very first SharePoint site. Now you must have owner access to perform this action, and you probably have already set up with Microsoft, but you do need a URL that reads something like alpha1mc.sharepoint.com. If you happen to have SharePoint On-Premise, the instructions will be the same, however the look and the icons may be a little bit different. Thanks again for checking out the SharePoint Online Site Owner course, and we'll see you on the other side. Welcome back everyone to this topic and the last topic in this section where we actually create our first site. Okay, so what I would like you to do is go to your address up here, your URL, and you should be sitting in your domain. In my case, it's alpha1mc.sharepoint.com. Yours will be whatever your corporation name is, .sharepoint.com, or whatever your site is called. If you are a small company like me where it's one person, it'll be that straightforward. If you are within a larger organization, it will be maybe a larger URL, which is actually pointing to your internal servers. Because remember, you could be on 2019 version just using a modern view. So either way, you need to get in this and type this address in. Now, once you're there, you can see this is my landing page, which again, I'm just a one-man operation here, folks. So I don't really have anything fancy on my main website, internal SharePoint site. But you will see here, I do have sub-sites. I have Alpha1MC, which is my demo site, my power support site, and my training site. You will also notice on my landing page, we got some ribbon system here because I set up my main site as a classic, but the subsequent ones are going to be modern. So if you remember for a second, this whole hierarchy chart that we looked at. In this example here, you can see here my collection site is the alpha1mc.sharepoint.com. Okay, that is the one that's created for you most often, but especially if you're Office 365, it's created when you sign up with SharePoint with Microsoft. And then the subsequent one, which is where we're going to go today, is you're going to make a sub-site in a few minutes, which we're going to call Silverado Club. So the address will be, as you see here, alpha1mc.sharepoint.com/Silverado. And yours, of course, will say your own company name in front of that. So I recommend if you do have a legitimate site, you're not going to be building in the master site, the top level one. You are going to create a sub-site with me, and that's where you're going to do this course, because when you're finished the course, just delete the Silverado site altogether. Okay, so for the next 3 to 4 hours or however long this course is, you may not want to do the course itself off your master. You create a sub-site first. Okay, so just again, I want to show you before we create, if I go to my Alpha1MC, you can see here, this is a sub-site, and look at the address up here. It's alpha1mc.sharepoint.com/alpha1mc. So that's the sub-site off of my master. Okay, and in here, I have a different system. It looks more modern because that's the intent. I hit my back button and I'm back to my master or my collection site. So from this master, I will go up to the gear over here in the corner and go to Site Contents. And from within here, I click the New button and you can see New Sub-Site. So New Sub-Site. Give it a minute. And now you're looking at the form to fill out for your site. So in the title section here, this is where we're going to put the title of the site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a sub-site for Silverado Club for those people who own Silverado trucks. So I'm going to call it Silverado Club. And then you have a URL name. Now the URL name does not need to be the same as your title. In fact, it probably won't be. It could be something shorter. I'm just going to type in Silverado. Okay. And again, you have to watch your case on this, because if you do capitalize, then you have to make sure you capitalize it when you send that URL to other people. Then down here, this is where your templates are. Now, it has varied over the years since 2016, but you do have traditionally a team site. But now in this version, we have Team Site Classic Experience and Team Site No Microsoft 365 Group. So we already showed you what the Classic is. We are teaching this in Modern, so we will keep it on the top option. But again, based on your organization, you may have more or less tabs over here. Plus you can create a template for custom, but we'll leave ours right on Team Site. And then down below, you have some options here. One is user permissions. You see it says the same permissions as parent site. That's the default behavior. That's okay. That means whoever has access to the top site will have access to this one. And lastly, down here, use the top link bar from the parent site. And that's this up here. You can see where I have my parent site and all my subs. So that question is, do you want this to appear on the rest? And the answer is no, so we will leave it as is. Okay, so in short, give it a name, put a URL in here, or how you want it to be addressed in the URL, pick your template, and click OK, or create in this case. So click create, give it a minute, and it will give us a brand new subsite off of our domain. So there it is. This pops up. You can close out this next steps. And there's our Silverado Club. It took on the characteristics of bringing in the logo. And look way up here, you can see the address is alpha1mc.sharepoint.com/Silverado. That is the name of the subsite. Okay. Now, if you remember that little hierarchy smart art that we had, we're now here at the Silverado Club subsite. And you can see we have a web address, the sharepoint.com/Silverado. And for the rest of the course, we will spend it in the next level underneath site apps, where we actually create all the apps for that site. So we are sitting one down from the Alpha1MC corporate site. And this is where you can create multiple subsites. We're just working with the one. Now that that's done, you might say, well, how do I get back to the parent? Well, because we didn't bring that title navigation bar with us, because the question, sometimes you don't want your people to go back up to the top. This could be a kind of like a separate entity. So, but as long as you have rights, which we do as owners and administrators, look up on top of the address bar. You can select everything after the .com, delete it, hit enter, and it will take you back to the parent. Okay, now because we have rights, it will take us there. And now you say, okay, well from here, how do I get to the Silverado Club? Well, remember, everything that we create is stored in site contents, and there's a site contents here on the left, and they're also here in the gear, site contents, and then there's a section here called subsites, and there's my Silverado Club. Okay. So I can click on it right there, and it takes me there. But don't worry, your users, if you do want to come from the main page, your users will have a button, or will be on the navigation that we'll set up much later. Okay, for now, this is the address that you can email folks to have access to your Silverado Club, or whatever you called yours, and we are ready to go. Okay, we're going to spend the rest of the course developing our content within this subsite that we created. So that wraps up this topic and this section. We'll see you in the next section, where we spend time creating and using document libraries.